It's enough to make you proud. British soldiers, their Martini Henry breech-loading rifles slung over the shoulders of their red tunics, their white solar topi helmets protecting them from the unforgiving sun, marching across the untamed, savage, uncivilized landscape of Africa to massacre an enemy armed only with pointed spears and shields, all in the name of Queen Victoria and the empire on which the sun never sets. Now, undoubtedly, some of what I've just said is true. Many individuals alive in the 1870s would have fought these forts. In fact, many people who were alive in the 1950s would have had similar ideas. They viewed anyone who wasn't a white European as barbarian, a dark-skinned subhuman monster, akin more to the simple mindset of a child rather than a thinking, feeling, culturally significant adult. A subject of the realm of the British Empire, and no more. Yet, what so many people forget these days is that the individuals who fought in the armies of the British Empire during these periods were people, like themselves, flawed, many hardened by poverty from environments where eating could be a daily struggle. Every soldier who fought in the wars of the British Empire have been painted with the same brush, a foot soldier of an upper-class racist society who participated in murder, torture and war for an evil empire intent on wiping away the armies, cultures and society of any nation it fought unworthy. It is true many of the commanders of the British Empire and its army were racist and supremacist, but thinking that every soldier who fought and died during the time of the British Empire was the same way is simply an unfair way to view them. Mostly, the average British soldier who fought during this time didn't fight and die for the ideals of the empire. They fought for their friends, their fellow soldiers, their comrades in arms, the man next to them. They fought for their own survival. I think no film has ever captured this individual spirit of the British Empire soldier quite like 1964's Zulu does. The film takes place during the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879, specifically the days of the 22nd and the 23rd of January of that year. At the small Christian mission station of Rorke's Drift, 150 British Empire soldiers defended an attack by 4,000 Zulu warriors who had surrounded them. Not only did they manage to hold them back, their defence was so valiant and hard fought that the Zulus retreated. The film Zulu is noted for its mostly historically accurate depiction, especially that of the battle and how physically the Battle of Rorke's Drift took place. However, one element of the story that is mostly fictionalised are the characters. Although based on real-life soldiers who fought at Rorke's Drift, the interactions, interpersonal communications and personalities of the soldiers are inventions created for dramatic effect. But they capture perfectly what it must have been like to be a soldier caught in that situation, and it is this reason why Zulu makes me proud of the British Empire, the men on the ground who made it possible. Let me state one thing right here though. I do not believe in subjugation. I believe frankly in a world without borders. But because the world does have borders, the people within those borders, I believe, should be left alone and leave others alone. So how can I feel proud of the British Empire after watching Zulu? It's a very strange feeling, but I do. I think ultimately it's because it's a film about military tactics and guilt. The soldiers in the film are brave individuals fighting to survive. As Michael Caine's characters state at the end of the film, he feels ashamed. The soldiers know they are in a land not of their own. If their orders were to hold Rorke's Drift at any cost, they wouldn't feel half ashamed. They would feel a sense of pride because as a soldier, they have completed the task assigned to them. But because they were fighting purely and solely to stay alive, they feel guilt, shame. They've just killed hundreds of Zulus. What gives them the right to live, whilst their enemy deserves to die, trying to take back the land that is rightfully theirs? Zulu doesn't shy away from the ideals of empire. It shows it as a brutal, bloody affair built on bodies. But these soldiers defy that ideal. They demonstrate the British spirit, the will to fight, the desire not to surrender, the need to protect the man next to them. And these men are shown as products of their time. They represent the British Empire. And because I sympathise with the struggle of these characters, that sense of pride in their army, their fellow men, their empire, seems to almost rub off on me. Zulu is a wonderful history lesson that does what very few other war films have successfully done. Shown you the bloody reality of war, shown you the ugly truth of the reason for the war, and yet still inspire a sense of national pride due to the heroics displayed in the war. Zulu the film is ultimately a magnificent display of how to empathise with characters and a situation. It deserves to be named a British classic, and it deserves to be seen the world over to demonstrate that even back in 1964, the British crew that made it understood the evils of the British Empire and yet could still create a story that didn't guilt trip you regarding your country's history. It doesn't just apply to the British Empire. Substitute any empire that subjugated and massacred people, and you've got a film that rightly should stand the test of time as a history lesson about the nature of colonisation, and a story about proud, brave individuals. The two are not mutually exclusive.